All right, I have some thoughts about that Trump phone call to the U.S. men's hockey team, and I said this on my show too, but I want to share it here. Just how quickly men's hockey spoiled a moment of patriotism and unity and goodwill. Just a brief moment that we all shared. Almost instantly spoiled it, and all the goodwill from heated rivalry and the great conversations around hockey. And I think those of us familiar with a lot of men's hockey culture aren't surprised, but can still be disappointed. If you happen to miss the story, after the U.S. men won gold, Kash Patel, the FBI director, was partying with them like a frat boy and called Donald Trump on speakerphone. And he had a message for them about how great they were and everything they did, and made a joke at the expense of the women's team. Said, I guess we have to invite the women's team. I might be impeached if we don't. And the whole team laughed, at least everyone we could see on camera. And the video of that call and Trump's joke has created a lot of conversation in the media and online. And there's a woman named Ellen Weinberg Hughes. She is a former women's national hockey team player and a player development consultant for this 2026 U.S. women's Olympic gold medal winning team. She's also the mom of Quinn and Jack Hughes, who are both on the men's Olympic hockey team. And after the joke and after the celebrations, she was asked about Trump's mocking of the women's team on the Today Show. And as my producer on my show, Alex, put it, quote, "So much word salad in here, Aaron Frankel needs to rate it." Yeah, that was a shot of Aaron Frankel's Caesar salad rating Instagram. Anyway, what Ellen said in part was, quote, "At the end of the day, it's just about the country. These players, both the men and women, can bring so much unity to a group and to a country. People that cheered on that don't watch hockey. People that have politics on one side or on the other side. And that's all both the men's team and the women's team care about," end quote. And the thing is, yeah, they can bring unity. Or they can forget about that unity almost instantly when they're thrust back into the masculine energy of their locker room. Hanging a medal around the neck of FBI agent of chaos and wasteful spending, Kash Patel, hanging on every word of our convicted sexual abuser and many times accused rapist president, like they were newborn pups angling for their mother's teat. And that is an apt analogy because newborn puppies can't see or hear anything for the first 10 to 14 days of their lives, which kind of sounds like the world these men choose to live in. And, we're watching them hug their wives. We know they're thanking their mothers for enrolling them in youth hockey, for driving them to practice, for washing and schlepping their gear, managing their schedules, wiping their tears, and in some cases, like Ellen, teaching them how to play the game. And they're doing that while simultaneously supporting a man who is actively trying to strip their rights and reverse their progress. And so in that Today Show interview, Ellen Weinberg Hughes continued to push the idea of connection, talking about the synergy between the men's and women's teams. And she said, quote, "If you could see what we see from the inside and the men and women sharing, dorm rooms and halls and flex floors and the camaraderie and the synergy and the way the women cheered on the men and the way the men cheered on the women, that's what it's all about. And the other things they cannot control. They care about humanity, they care about unity, and they care about the country," end quote. So much lettuce in there. We've heard about that camaraderie she mentions. We've seen the cheering. We heard Ellen's son Jack say after he scored the game winner, the first thing he thought of was Megyn Keller scoring the game winner for the women's team just a few days earlier. We even told you on our show about the men's team sneaking beer into the village late night so that the women could keep celebrating their win. But you know what? That stuff doesn't matter if no one stands up for those same women when they're being shit on. Are you showing up when it's tough? Are you speaking up when no one else is? Are you pushing back on the same tired, misogynistic bullshit that has plagued sports for the entirety of their existence? Or are you laughing? Are you laughing at the very same women who you just claim to support? Are you normalizing the fact that the president hates women so much he'll interrupt a celebration just to make sure he can shit on them? Now, Jack Hughes himself did an interview outside of the team's party in Miami, which, by the way, I'm really curious who footed the bill for that one. Michelin star steak dinner, caviar, filet mignon, Don Julio, over $150,000 in champagne that they allegedly had. I'm hoping it was the venues and not U.S. Hockey, who is notorious for giving the women short shrift. I don't know. Hoping it's the venues. Anyway, after the party or during the party, whenever Jack did his interview, he said, quote, "People are so negative out there and they're just trying to find a reason to put people down and make something out of almost nothing. People are so negative about things. I think everyone in that locker room knows how much we support them, how proud we are of them. The same way we feel about them, they feel about us," end quote. Yeah, they know how you feel. They just have to ignore what you say and do when they're not around. It's what women always have to do. Take your support, believe your support, and just hope we never hear what you say and do when we're not around. what those guys got to say and do in the safety of the locker room. Let's talk about the locker room. Let's go back to 2016. The tape of Trump saying, when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. In the fallout of that tape release, Trump called those comments locker room talk. Ah, yes, the safe space of the locker room, where crude language, hate speech, misogyny, hazing, even criminal activity is okay. Where teammates have punched each other, lobbed homophobic insults, and even pulled guns on each other. And those acts are excused as exercises in toughness or even team bonding. Locker room talk. In 2016, Trump found safety in the locker room analogy because he knew, as we all do, that society forgives and excuses the actions and words of men when they're alone together, unburdened by the expectations or ethics of an evolved society. Boys will be boys. They can't be expected to think for themselves, right? Can't be expected to stay stoned-faced with such a laugher of a joke like Trump told, or God forbid even speak up when others are degraded or insulted. Laugh. Laugh with your boys. Laugh at the women who have won 37% of their Olympic tournaments while you've won 11%. Laugh at the women who don't get the millions of dollars in contracts and sponsor money and go out there and fucking win anyway. Laugh at the women who get shit on by their own president after winning a gold medal and then have to watch their fellow U.S. hockey members join in. Laugh at the women who have spines enough to say no to that White House invite while you hump Trump's leg as he jokes about closing the northern border to Canada and sending you a military plane to take you back for the State of the Union address. I can hear it now. Not all men. Not all these men. And you're right. Obviously, some of the players might have been hanging back in the locker room, not interested in partying with Kash Patel or Trump's phone call. Some of them might have sat back, off camera, and let the MAGA pups breathlessly take in every word of a 34-time convicted felon. In fact, I want to shout out the one player who can be heard yelling 2 for 2 when Trump mentioned the women's team. Not laughing at his joke, but rather joyfully celebrating that the U.S. had gone 2 for 2 in hockey at the Olympics. Shout out to that man. But where were the rest of you? Where are the rest of you now? Saying you didn't laugh at the joke. Saying you'll skip the trip to the White House. Saying the women's team deserved better. Just because you didn't make the joke doesn't mean you're not complicit in protecting and endorsing a system that says that that joke is okay, that women are punchlines. Now, I don't know Ellen Weinberg Hughes, and I don't know what kind of balance she's trying to keep between her role with the women's team and not bringing negative attention to her sons. But I'm kind of fucking over giving people excuses. Don't word salad this shit. Defend your team. Say something. You don't have to be insulting or dramatic about it. You can just say you think the women's team deserved better. You can just say you don't think they deserved that joke. You could say that the women brought great pride to their country and deserved to be celebrated. That's it. I know that's what Jack Hughes would be saying if he actually was proud of them, like he said, if he really supported them, like he said. Instead, he was at the White House, letting Trump and this administration ride the wave of enthusiasm that America has for this hockey team, for this gold medal win, shaking hands with and smiling next to the man who insulted the women that he just said he supported. Enough. Enough of it from athletes, enough of it from the average American person. People are losing their lives, their livelihoods, their homes, their rights. And you're not saying anything? You're laughing? Or you're making excuses for other people laughing, like Ellen? Fuck that. We have to be braver. We have to be louder. We have to stand up for this shit. And not just people making jokes at gold medal winning women's expense. Everything. We have to give a shit enough to be criticized. Be willing to put something on the line. Because if you're safe and you have a home and a job and you're protected by your gender or your color or your economic status, then speak the fuck up. Otherwise, you're just like those hockey players, enjoying the safe space of their locker room and their fucking locker room talk.